Have you ever had a moment where your body feels like it's betraying you? Not just a bad day, not just being tired, but a deep, gnawing sense that something inside is off. You wake up after what should have been a full night's sleep, yet your body feels like you ran a marathon in your dreams. Your chest feels tight, your stomach is bloated, your skin is breaking out in ways it hasn't since high school, and your heart races for no reason, even when you're just sitting there, scrolling through your phone. And when you go to the doctor, they look at your blood work, nod politely, and say, everything's normal. You're probably just stressed. Just stressed. Two small words that sound harmless. But what if I told you those words are actually a warning? What if I told you that just stress might be slowly dismantling your body from the inside, organ by organ, without leaving obvious fingerprints for months? Or even years? I didn't always believe that. But then I met Aiden. He wasn't the kind of person you'd expect to crumble. Always early. Always prepared. A quiet overachiever who seemed like he had everything under control. If you asked his friends, they'd tell you he was calm, level-headed, and almost impossible to shake. And yet, little by little, Aiden started to change. It began with tiny things. Forgetting where he put his keys. Skipping meals because he wasn't hungry. Waking up at odd hours of the night. Small stuff, the kind of things most of us brush off. But within months, those little things grew teeth. He started waking up at 3 a.m. with his heart pounding like he'd been sprinting. He began losing weight without trying. His digestion was unpredictable. Some days he couldn't eat at all, other days he felt bloated after 2 bites. His skin, once smooth and clear, became pale, dry, and patchy. His hair, thick and strong his whole life, began to thin. He couldn't focus at work. He'd forget conversations minutes after having them. So he did what most people would do, he went to the doctor. They ran the usual tests, blood work, heart scans, even allergy panels. And every result came back with the same infuriating word, normal. But Aiden didn't feel normal. He felt like he was fading. One night, he called me. And I'll never forget his voice. Low, strained, almost shaky. I think my body's attacking itself, he said. But nobody believes me. That was the moment I realized something important. You can look fine on paper, but be silently unraveling on the inside. And more often than not, the culprit isn't a virus, a deficiency, or bad genetics. It's something far more common. Something hiding in plain sight. It's chronic stress. But not the kind you feel for an hour before a test or a meeting. This is different. This is the kind of stress that moves in, unpacks its bags, and builds a permanent home inside your body, without asking permission. And once it's in, it starts changing everything. When you're stressed, your body isn't just thinking about your problems, it's responding as if you're in real danger. Your brain sends a signal to your adrenal glands, and they release cortisol and adrenaline, your body's built-in emergency alarms. In a short burst, these chemicals save your life. They give you energy, sharpen your senses, and prepare you to run or fight. But here's the problem, those chemicals were never designed to stay in your system 24/7. With Aiden, they never turned off. He wasn't running from a bear, but his body thought he was. Every day. Every hour. Even while sleeping. And that constant chemical flood? It's like acid dripping on your organs, slowly wearing them down. The heart, the first casualty was his heart. Cortisol made his blood pressure climb, day after day. It thickened his blood, making his heart work harder with every beat. His heart rhythm became irregular, skipping beats, racing, slowing down, then racing again. The brain next, his brain. Chronic stress started shrinking his hippocampus, the part that stores and organizes memories. His ability to focus and remember details collapsed. He described it as living in fog. Worse, inflammation crept into his brain tissue, feeding anxiety and draining his motivation. Then his immune system began to falter. Cortisol suppresses immunity, so he started catching colds more often. Small cuts took longer to heal. His skin became dull, prone to rashes and acne. The hormones in men, stress lowers testosterone. In women, it disrupts estrogen and progesterone balance. For Aiden, it meant fatigue that no amount of coffee could fix. And a complete loss of desire for things he used to enjoy. The gut finally, one of the biggest stress victims. When cortisol is high, digestion shuts down. Nutrients aren't absorbed well. Food sits longer in the stomach, leading to bloating, cramps, and even something called leaky gut, where the intestinal lining weakens and toxins slip into the bloodstream. Aiden didn't know all this yet. He just knew he was getting worse. His chest felt tighter. His stomach more bloated. His thoughts slower. And then came the night that changed everything. He was brushing his teeth, a normal, boring night, when his vision blurred. His chest clenched, his breath vanished, and his hands went numb. His heart was hammering so hard he thought it might explode. He collapsed. The ambulance arrived. They checked his heart, ran tests, drew blood. The doctor came in and said, "You had a panic attack." But Aiden wasn't panicking. He wasn't thinking about anything scary. He was just brushing his teeth. That's when he realized, this wasn't in his head. This was in his body. In the next weeks, the symptoms multiplied. He'd wake up drenched in sweat, shaking. His stomach refused food. His hands trembled while holding his phone. He forgot entire conversations. And still, every test said normal. It wasn't until a specialist told him, "Your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. You're not sick. You're surviving," that the pieces finally clicked. Aiden's breaking point didn't look like a movie scene. There was no dramatic collapse in the street, no crowd gathering around. It was quiet. Almost invisible to the outside world. It happened in the middle of the night. He woke up at 2:47 a.m., again, but this time, it wasn't just his heart pounding. Every muscle in his body was clenched, as if he'd been holding his breath for hours. His jaw was locked. His back ached like he'd been carrying a heavy load all day. And yet, he had done nothing that day. Nothing to cause it. He sat on the edge of his bed, shaking. His mind was silent, but his body was screaming. That's when it hit him, he wasn't living anymore. He was enduring. The programming of survival. When stress is constant, your body learns to live in a state of emergency. Your heart, lungs, muscles, hormones, and even digestion are rewired to prepare for danger that never comes. It's like having a smoke alarm in your house that never stops ringing. Eventually, you stop hearing it, but it's still damaging your nerves. And here's the dangerous part: even when the problem is gone, when the job changes, the breakup is over, or the exam is done, your body doesn't just switch back to calm mode. It stays on high alert, because it doesn't trust that you're safe. The physical toll for Aiden: this meant waking up more tired than when he went to bed. Feeling full after a few bites of food because digestion was half shut down. Random chest pains that made him think he was having a heart attack. Crying without knowing why, and other times, feeling absolutely nothing. He started skipping work. Canceling plans. Avoiding people. Not because he didn't want to see them, but because he didn't have the energy to put on the "I'm fine" mask anymore. The turning point, the breakthrough, didn't come from a pill or a diagnosis. It came from a therapist who said something he'd never heard before: your body doesn't feel safe. You have to teach it safety again. Aiden almost laughed. Safety? He lived in a safe neighborhood. He had food, a roof, friends. But she wasn't talking about the outside world. She was talking about inside. Because your nervous system isn't logical. It doesn't care if your bank account is fine or your door is locked. It reacts to patterns, and his pattern was danger, danger, danger. The therapist explained, chronic stress had hijacked his autonomic nervous system. This system controls everything you don't think about: your heartbeat, digestion, breathing, hormone release. And right now, his was stuck in survival mode. If he wanted to heal, he couldn't just think positive. He had to send his body physical signals of safety. Over and over. Every day. Until his nervous system believed them. Aiden didn't start with some massive, overwhelming health program. He didn't join a gym, quit his job, or move to a new city. He started with the smallest thing his therapist suggested: breathe differently. She taught him the 4-7-8 method, a technique so simple it almost sounded silly. Breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds, hold for 7, breathe out slowly for 8. 3 times a day. The first few days? Nothing. But by week 2, something shifted. His heart wasn't spiking out of nowhere anymore. His shoulders, always tight like stone, felt lighter. He could sit in silence without feeling like the walls were closing in. Next, he tackled his gut. The therapist explained something most people never hear: 90% of your serotonin, the chemical that helps you feel calm and happy, is made in your gut. If your digestion is broken, your mood will be too. So, every night, he made himself a warm herbal tea, chamomile to calm the nervous system, lemon balm to lower cortisol, peppermint to ease bloating. After a month, his digestion improved. His skin cleared. His sleep became deeper, not perfect, but real, restorative sleep. Then came morning light therapy. One of the worst habits Aiden had was checking his phone before even getting out of bed. That instant dopamine hit was ruining his body's internal clock, his circadian rhythm. So he replaced it with something ancient and free: sunlight. Every morning, before breakfast, before screens, he stepped outside and let real sunlight touch his eyes for 10 minutes. No sunglasses. No scrolling. Just light. It sounds small, but the effect was huge. His energy stopped crashing at 3 p.m. He started waking up naturally, without an alarm. Finally, he practiced physical safety signals, standing barefoot on grass for 5 minutes, taking warm baths with Epsom salt, wrapping himself in a weighted blanket before bed. Each action whispered to his nervous system, "You're safe now." 8 weeks later, Aiden wasn't a different person. He was himself again. He laughed without forcing it. He ate without fear of pain. He slept through the night. And the best part? He learned something that could save anyone watching this video. You can't think your way out of chronic stress. You have to teach your body that it's safe, and you do that with daily, consistent, physical signals. Maybe no one's told you this before, but your body has been keeping score. Every sleepless night. Every argument you swallowed. Every time you smiled when you wanted to cry. It remembers, not to punish you, but to protect you. The headaches, the stomach knots, the random rashes, they're not enemies. They're messages. Your body's way of saying, "Please, slow down. I can't keep fighting like this." So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, before bed, put your phone down. Breathe slowly. Drink something warm. Let your body feel safe for just 10 minutes. Then do it again tomorrow. And the day after that. Because every signal you send your body matters. Every single one. And if you've watched this far, that means you're ready to start listening to your body, ready to heal, ready to take back the life stress has been stealing from you. So here's what I want you to do next. Hit subscribe, not for me, but for you. Because if this video spoke to you, you'll want the next ones too. And maybe, just maybe, the next video will be the one that changes your life even more than this one. And if you know someone who's fine on the outside but breaking on the inside, send this to them. Because sometimes, a video is more than content, it's a lifeline. Speech bubble emoji, your body is listening. What will you say to it tonight?